They always say blood is thicker than water, but no one ever finishes the quote. I used to believe in family, blindly, desperately. But belief has a funny way of betraying you when you're young and foolish enough to think love guarantees loyalty. Was 17 when my world fell apart. It started on a humid Sunday afternoon, just after my cousin Anna had come over for a weekend visit. We'd grown up together, played tag in the backyard, shared stories on the porch swing, laughed at the world like nothing could touch us. She was more like a sister than a cousin. That's why it shattered me when my parents sat me down and told me what she'd said. She says you forced yourself on her, my mother whispered, like saying it aloud would make it more true. My father just stared at me, disbelief fighting with disappointment. But it was the disappointment that won. I laughed, not out of amusement. It was that kind of desperate, dry laugh when your brain tries to escape a nightmare by pretending it's a joke. You don't believe her, do you? But they didn't say anything. Just silence. Silence is the cruelest answer. That night, they took me to the station. I spent 3 days in holding before they released me due to lack of evidence. 3 days of concrete beds, of whispers, of eyes that looked at me like I was filth. I walked out a free man, but I was never really free again. The whispers followed me back home. School became unbearable. Friends vanished. I was guilty in the eyes of everyone, even without proof. My mother stopped meeting my gaze. My father didn't speak to me for weeks. And Anna? She just went on with her life, as if nothing had happened. 2 years passed. I worked odd jobs. I kept my head down. I didn't speak to my family, not after I moved out. I didn't know how. They never apologized, never asked how I was, never once doubted her. That's what hurt the most. Not the accusation, but the silence that followed. The cold shoulder. The way they let me rot in isolation just to keep things peaceful. Then, last year, Anna confessed. She broke down during an argument with her mother. Said it never happened. Said she was angry at me for calling out her boyfriend for cheating and wanted to teach me a lesson. My parents called me that same night. Not to apologize, no. They told me the news, almost like they expected me to be relieved. We didn't know, my mother cried. How could we have known? My father tried to say it was a mistake, that they just didn't want to believe it could have been her, that they were scared. Scared. But where was their fear when they handed me over like some stranger? Where was their love when I needed them? To stand beside me? Where was family when I was being destroyed? Now they call every few months. They say they want to rebuild. They say I'm being cold, ungrateful, distant. They tell me I'm being unfair for cutting them off. But here's what no one understands. Sometimes you don't walk away from family because you hate them. You walk away because you finally understand that you were never part of the same definition of family in the first place. They broke me. And now they want me to fix their guilt by coming back. But I won't. I've chosen silence. Not because it hurts less, but because it's the only truth I have left. And this time, I won't let anyone take that from me.